Hey students, welcome to this video about academic integrity, specifically what is known as plagiarism. I want to take just a few minutes to make sure you are aware of what it is and how to avoid it and what to do if you've got questions. First of all, let's talk about why academic integrity matters. First of all, academic work should reflect honesty and Christian character. As you present your work, you want to make sure that you are presenting your own work. This represents who you are as a Christian believer, and this is very important to us, obviously, here at Carolina College of Biblical Studies, but it should also matter to you regardless of what type of school you're going to. When you submit your assignment, you want to make sure that you're actually representing your own work. It's your work. You did all the research, you did all the writing, and this is a very important issue. Integrity builds trust and reflects Christian witness. Who would we be as Christian believers if we lied about our paper, if we fudged a little bit around the edges about whether or not we did all the work, or if we got it from a website or we did it on AI or something else? Integrity matters, and it's especially important here at CCBS. So the question is, what is plagiarism? Well, plagiarism is the idea of presenting someone else's words or their ideas as your own. This could be something as simple as copying text without putting quotation marks and without putting a citation on it. It could also be something like taking their ideas and then putting them into your paper and not giving them credit for the ideas that were actually theirs. It could be taking somebody else's outline. It could be taking ideas from 2 or 3 different people, putting them together. It could be simply changing a few words in a sentence to make it not theirs and now it's yours, but that's actually still plagiarism. And actually, plagiarism could be taking your own old work assignment that you wrote for a different class and submitting it to a new class and not presenting original work. All of these are presenting someone else's ideas or words as your own. Here's an example just to give you something visually to look at. Let's imagine that maybe in a commentary or a book you read the following quote: Jesus frequently taught in parables to reveal truth to those willing to hear. And imagine that in your paper, you wrote that exact same sentence. You just didn't use quotation marks. And you wrote, Jesus frequently taught in parables to reveal truth to those willing to hear. Guess what? That is considered plagiarism. The fact that you use the idea is great, but make sure that you put it in quotation marks and make sure that you actually include a proper Turabian footnote there as well. Here's another example, and this happens a lot for students. They look in the original source in their book or maybe in a journal article, and they read something like this: the Apostle Paul emphasized that salvation is a gift of God's grace and cannot be earned through human works. But in their paper, they change a word or two. They changed emphasize to stress. They changed human works to human effort. They took off the quotation marks and they left off the citation. And they act like this is now their words. But guess what? This is still plagiarism. Even though you changed a word or 2 or 3, but you kept the original structure, emphasis, design, idea, that is considered plagiarism. So slightly changing the words is still plagiarism. So again, some common forms of plagiarism. When you copy text from a book or an article or a website and you don't put it in quotation marks and you don't give proper citation, that's plagiarism. When you only change a few words or you do some very vague paraphrasing so that you're really not summarizing the ideas, you're just kind of skipping a few things, that's considered plagiarism. When you miss citing something in your paper and you forget to or you purposefully do, really plagiarism is technically a sign if you don't include the page number so that your reader can validate where your source came from. And again, reusing your own work from another class in a different class without permission of your current professor is considered plagiarism. So again, plagiarism can be many things. And one of the newest parts of plagiarism is the use of AI. We have a separate video about using AI that you need to watch. But let's just make sure that you understand that AI tools, things like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, even Grammarly Pro, the more enhanced version of, instead of just the free version of Grammarly, may or may not be allowed in a given course. Why? Because they are generative AI. They are generating new content that's not exactly your words, and that can be considered and flagged as plagiarism. So you need to follow your professor's instructions. We already have a policy here at the school. Make sure that you take time to review that. It's in the current version of the academic catalog, which you can get from any of your staff. You can also find on our website. Submitting AI generated work as your own work may violate academic integrity and get you in big trouble. So how do you avoid plagiarism? Well, 4 simple steps. Number 1, cite your sources whenever you're using someone else's ideas. If you use their words or their ideas or their outline or the illustration or anything like that, make sure you include a footnote. Number 2, use quotation marks whenever you use direct quotes. That is, if you say word for word what someone else has said, you need to put that in quotation marks. Now, obviously, 1 or 2 words is fine, but anything really 3 words and more, you need to probably put that in quotation marks. Number 3, write your ideas in your own words when you're paraphrasing. I guess a better way to say that would be when you read somebody else's content and you're trying to summarize it, put that book away. Put it all in your own words. Paraphrase, summarize. Don't try to look back and forth. That's where you're going to mess up. So paraphrase, put it completely in your own words. And then finally, use Turabian citation when required, which is going to be anytime you cite something. Make sure that you do it correctly. Make sure you give a full citation. Make sure you include the page number. So here at CCBS, we do have an academic integrity policy. And when it comes to plagiarism, including the use of AI, there are 3 major consequences that can occur. Number 1, the first time it happens in any course, you're going to get a 0 on the assignment. The professor may or may not allow you to make up that assignment. So be careful. Don't tip into or trip into plagiarism. The second offense, and that offense can happen in any course, it will be failure of the course. So let's imagine one semester you get you inadvertently, or no, you advert in it. I'll get it out in a minute. You purposefully plagiarize something, or the intent is identified as purposeful plagiarism. You're going to be getting a 0 on that assignment. It often is tagged to your account in Populate. If a second offense occurs in any course, in any future semester, you're going to fail that second course because you've been warned, you've been disciplined, now it's occurred again. If it occurs a third time, you will fail that course and you will face academic suspension and be removed from classes here at CCBS. It also will go on your transcript. Now, if you remain clear and have no other issues, we will remove it from your transcript. But if not, it will remain on your transcript in case you decide you just don't do it anymore here, go somewhere else. That's fine. But that plagiarism violation will follow your academic record. So what do you do? When in doubt, ask your professor for clarification. Is this plagiarism? Is this not plagiarism? Review Turabian citation guidelines and use your sources responsibly. That's all you really need to do. If you're careful and you think through it, you know when you're doing it and you know when you're not. And by the way, we have software that can identify it, and we do use it, unfortunately, because it happens so frequently. Finally, academic integrity honors the Lord Jesus Christ. Complete your work honestly unto the Lord. Give credit where it is due. Maintain integrity in all your studies. May it be said of you that you were above reproach when it came to any of your academic work here at Carolina College of Biblical Studies. God bless you, and may you do exceedingly well in all your work ahead.